This is like the highlight of my chill at home day.
We're so sorry.
Sorry about that.
I feel like
I'm just
the bar
kidding.
is set very high now.
Yeah, we have to do it.
All right, welcome to Rated NA, the podcast for the website nerdappropriate.com. This is episode number 247, and I'm your host, Matt.
And I'm Scott.
And I'm Ash.
And,
And I'm...
go! I talked over it. I was going to introduce you.
did.
I didn't know if I was supposed to say hello.
No,
you,
say it, it's
you can do
perfect.
it. Yes.
Do it.
Okay. And I'm Hannah Telle. Oh my God.
Yay!
You did it.
Perfect.
Welcome back. This is round 3 for you, Hannah.
Thank you so much for having me back again. I love talking with you guys.
Oh, good. Once you're in the 3-timers club, that means you're like part of our clan and you'll never escape. So we're sorry ahead of time, but welcome to the clan.
Thank you. I'm so glad to have been indoctrinated.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a very exclusive club. I think it's now Hannah Telle. I think it's Ashley Birch is in this club.
She's in the 3-timers club, sure.
Is Allie Hillis in this club too?
She
Close?
is. Yeah.
Okay. I can't think of anyone else, but I think that's
Alec
it. So
Baldwin?
it's a small club. It's not Alec Baldwin.
Steve
I
Martin.
think you're thinking about Saturday Night Live.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's a different
Right.
thing altogether.
So, Scott, what's on the show this week?
Okay, so this week we're talking to Hannah Telle. And
That's it. That's all we're going to do all
that's
week.
pretty much, yeah. Hannah, you have a new album out, so we're gonna talk about that this week.
Oh gosh.
I know, I'm really excited. I wasn't able to go to Comic-Con, but when I went and listened to the interview that you did with Matt and Ash, I heard that the album was coming out, and I got really excited, and I was like, yes, let's do this. Let's talk about it now that the album is here, and we can talk about it. So that's what we're gonna do on this episode. Before we get to that, I guess we'll try to do very quickly what we always do on the show, which is what everybody is up to. So why don't we just go through and go to Matt?
Hi.
Hey, what's
Hi,
up?
Matt.
I'm so
How's it
totally
going?
unprepared for this.
Me too, man.
I'm
I
telling
can't
you,
even remember what
I'm
it
telling
is.
you, I thought this is what we were doing all day. So this is the
great.
best. This is great
the first
for me.
time we've really done this format, so why not?
Yeah, sure. No, let's roll with it.
Yeah.
Man, not a ton. Fall TV and stuff is back, and yeah, I picked up a really trashy game on my phone that I've been playing.
Yeah?
I shouldn't call it trashy. I'm sure many people worked hard on it, but have you guys played that Marvel Champions game?
I did actually play it, yeah.
It's fun.
Like one
It's
that's
not, it's not too trashy. It's all
No,
right.
I mean it's like an energy like any game that has like a thing where it's like pay $99 and get 5,000 gems. I'm like, okay. Well,
Like, these better be real gems, damn it.
Yeah. So that a little bit, and then man, what else? Oh, I was in Florida. I saw Ash in person for a very short.
Yeah,
brief
man.
period.
That's
We
always weird.
got we got some meat together. That was great.
We did. Yeah. You brought your
did.
child. I brought my temporary child. I was taking care of my nephew and my niece, and I took my nephew there, and he did not like Ash at all for
No,
a solid.
Most
Oh.
kids
30
don't.
minutes.
Most kids don't like me initially, and then I grow on them like a hideous wart.
Like a fungus.
He doesn't
Yeah.
like anybody for the first 30 minutes if it makes you feel any better, so it worked out. Man, yeah, I don't know. Traveled a little bit. I haven't been reading. I've been wanting to read lately. I don't know if you guys get through those phases at all.
Yes.
Yeah? Like every once in a while, like if you haven't read in a while and then you're like, man, I haven't read anything in like months, it feels like, and then I feel like a bummer. Like I feel like such a letdown to myself or something. No, I mean like not in a bad way, but just kind of like you're like I should be smarter and read things. So I don't know. I got to pick up something and read something. The new Expanse is out soon, but I'll do something between those two. I've got a bunch of books that I need to, like paper books that Melissa's gotten me that I should read. So something like that. This is real impromptu. That's all I got.
That's
All
pretty
right,
good.
I think I have even less.
How about you? Go ahead then, Ash. What have you got?
Well, so most of our listeners know I have a relative newborn. He's about 5 months now, and he's going through what they call sleep regression, which means that I don't ever sleep right now.
Oh no.
So I know. So I'm basically like the living dead these past couple weeks because he's not sleeping. So that's no fun. But I have been playing some games. I'm still playing Headlander on Steam, which is a lot of fun. You're into
cool.
the sort of
I
retro
don't think
future.
did you ever get to talk about that?
I never really did like a proper review because I
Yeah.
wanted to get deeper into it. But honestly, like I have maybe like a half an hour to game a day right now,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
super sad. Yeah, it's.
I remember
for
those
me,
days.
Yeah, for me, it's like that's rough because that's how I stay sane. So I'm
Yes.
slowly going insane.
Yes.
But I played a little bit of that, and I played just to get ready for Gears of War 4. I played the old Gears of War the other day, just to kind of like
That's
to
fun.
feel it, which was fun. And let's see, I did watch some of the new fall TV. I watched the first 2 seasons of the new season of Shield, which is good.
Yeah.
I like the Ghost Rider stuff, and I think
Mhm.
Ghost Rider looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm digging
And
it.
I
I watched
also-
it too.
You liked it?
Yeah,
I'm glad
yeah.
you liked it.
There's still some of their like. Sometimes their writing feels very network soap opera or something. I don't really know. Like some of it feels a little forced, but I like
Yeah.
what they're doing with the characters, and I like bringing in Ghost Rider, so that's cool.
Cool. It's really cool. And then I also watched the first couple episodes of Scream Queens, which is still the strangest damn show I've ever seen, but I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I think the season 2 premiere had one of the most vulgar lines on network TV that I've ever heard uttered. Like,
Really?
and I was so happy that it was actually in there. I'm not going to repeat it because it's actually really bad, but it was really, really funny. Let's see. Other than that, just kind of hanging out. Let's see what Hannah's been up to.
Well, you guys are the first people that I've interacted with today that wasn't a Thai delivery person.
All right.
Good about that.
What'd you order?
Okay, well, it's actually got a really cool name. It's called Magic String Beans.
What?
That sounds
Whoa.
great.
It's basically just like green beans and tofu and stuff.
That's
but-
wonderful.
Yeah, I'm just like having a seclusion day because I was up for like almost 3 days straight, so I had
Wow.
to kind of like, I was traveling and then we were doing that live stream for episode 2,
Yes.
and I'm like the type of person where if I have to do something, I just go and go and go until at top speed and then crash for like a couple days and then start the cycle all over again. So
Absolutely. So you were out at Square, right? Square Enix.
Yes,
So that's so
was.
exciting.
it was fun. It was really
It's much
that
more
was-
exciting than like our stories of like, well, I ate some food and watched some network TV. like I was live streaming with Square Enix. Oh, yeah, it's a little bit more glamorous.
Well, that was just one day out of the week. Like
Oh, okay.
now I'm back to like not talking to anyone in person. So it's all good.
That's awesome.
It is good.
Well, I'm glad you're hanging out with us.
Thank
ver-
you.
Yeah, very quickly, I'll just talk about what I've been up to. I'm 2 episodes away from finishing Jessica Jones.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Just in
Yeah.
time for Luke Cage on Friday.
yeah, just in time for Luke Cage. I really like the show. I have questions, and I don't know if it's too early to ask them, just because it's 2 episodes left.
Yeah.
But
The day
I
you
don't.
watch a Marvel show and don't have questions, Scott, I don't know what I'll do.
Yeah, well,
Scott's
I mean,
I'll start
why
weeping.
did this guy fly? Like, why?
well, I
This makes no sense.
I don't know what the deal is with the 90s cop guy, with the
Well, he's a character, yeah.
boyfriend. Okay, that's good to know.
The
And
blonde's boyfriend, or the blonde's boyfriend.
yeah, but he kind of has like a very like 90s, like if he was
Yeah.
one of the Terminators in like T2, like I would have bought that.
He is legitimately one of the more 90s comic book characters in general.
Oh,
so
Oh, okay. Well, that
his
makes
name
perfect
is,
sense.
His name is Nuke, I believe, right, Ash? If I'm correct?
Nuke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so that's cool. And then I am currently reviewing a game called The Final Station, which I think was a PC game but is now on Xbox. So almost through that, and I'll talk about it next week. And then, Fall TV is very exciting. And I've been listening to an album called Hollow Glow. Have you guys heard of
I have heard this album.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So
Wow.
I think we're about to talk about it at length. So
oh, okay, fantastic. Well, that's pretty much been my week. I've been very, very busy with other non-fun things otherwise. So, I went to DC last week for work, but I brought my my family along, and it was really nice. We went to the Natural History Museum and the zoo, which is really cool. So yeah, it was really fun. We saw pandas and elephants, and
That
it
zoo
was
is killer, man. I love that zoo.
yeah, it's really nice. For some reason, I didn't realize that the zoo was free in addition to all the
Yeah.
the indoor museums. So
City's the greatest. Everything's
Yeah.
free.
yeah, it's pretty cool, except the cab rides, But
Nope, those are expensive.
yes, very much so. But not having to pay at the museum is nice. So that's kind of all works out. But that was last week, and I'm happy to be back and talking with you guys and getting back to doing this. So there you go.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we take a quick break and then come back and talk to Hannah at length?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Haven't seen you smile in a while. That winter cold, there's nothing such a flow. Our spirits used to intertwine. You'll always be in my mind. You'll always be on my mind. You'll always be on my mind.
All right, so we are back with Hannah Telle, and we did something different this time. We actually went to Reddit, where there is a big Life is Strange and Hannah Telle community there, and we asked a bunch of questions, or asked them to give us questions for Hannah, and we got a lot of really great ones. It was like in the top 4 or 3 on the Life is Strange Reddit for like a couple days, and I was just like, hey, Hannah Telle's coming on the show, do you have any questions? And it just blew up, and we got a ton of them. So we have a number of the questions here, and we are going to give shout outs to all of the folks that provided the questions. So thank you to the Life is Strange Reddit community for these questions.
Yeah.
Thank you
Are you
guys
ready?
so much. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm
Pretty
I'm
cool.
ready.
It's
That's
pretty
really
exciting. So
cool.
we're gonna kick things off with talking about your new album. So your new album just dropped. Last week or this week?
I think it was last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday? Okay, so it dropped
Yeah.
last Wednesday, currently available on Bandcamp, iTunes, and Spotify. And you can pick it up now, so definitely pick it up because it's great. But the first question is from Reddit, and it's from Israel Blarg. And Israel asks, how long did it take to put Hollow Glow, the whole album, together? So how long was, I guess, also the writing process and the recording process together?
Wow. Well, a lot of these songs I had started writing like 3-4 years ago, and I just was writing for fun because it was exciting to have a new hobby that allowed me to express myself. So cut to November of 2014, I met a new guitar teacher, and he and I started working together, and I played him my songs, and so he was like, well, you should record your songs, and I was like, I've always wanted to do that, but I don't know how to use the computer. Which is seriously true, you guys. I can't. It's really hard for me, and it's like something I am very sad about. I really want to get better with the computer. But anyway, so we started recording them, and I'd say all in all, it took us like 1.5 years. We had a really long mixing process because I couldn't find like peace with it being finished, so I was tweaking stuff. It felt like it was never going to be finished, but then finally
Right.
it's done.
Very
So-
nice. Scott, you want to ask the next one?
Yeah, well, I was actually, I think you kind of answered my question, which was what I was thinking was, were you working on these songs over time? Because a lot of times, the first album for anybody is usually like, oh, this is stuff that I've been writing for like a really long time and waiting to get enough of it together to put out an album. So that's really cool. That Israel also goes on to ask, did you write every song by yourself? Did you have a writing partner? And how tough was that process to go through as you were trying to like compose all these different songs with the lyrics and everything?
Well, okay. This is kind of a long, complicated answer. So all of the lyrics on the album I wrote. The song "Freeway" is a song by my guitar teacher and producer. It's his song. I heard him play it at this acoustic solo show, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love that song. Will you record it for me so I can listen to it all the time, and then he just gave it to me to sing on the album.
Oh,
which
that's
is,
That's
like,
awesome.
it's like the greatest gift anybody's ever. It was really special to me. So yeah, I'd never really written with anybody before. So it was really exciting to have someone that would want to share, a song with me. Most of the songs I had written, like I said, 3 or 4 years ago, and then I brought them, showed him, it's just me and the guitar playing them. So we figured out how to add in other instruments and like flesh them out to be for a full band, like arranging them for, strings and everything, which was so exciting. And then Ben and I wrote Never Done, Sunrise. We wrote those together, where I wrote the lyrics and then we would write the vocal melodies together, and he would mostly do the music. And let's see, I think that's it. Oh yeah, we would write, like for Hurricanes, we wrote the chorus of Hurricanes together. The verse was something that I had come up with like years ago, and yeah, it was a really amazing thing for me because I had all these ideas, and I didn't even know if they were any good or not. I just played him everything that I had, and he was like, "Oh, that's great! Like, let's work on this." So
Oh, that's really awesome.
Really special to have.
That is great.
Someone help. Yeah.
It sounds like you had a really great relationship with him. That's really important,
Yeah, it was really cool. Then they're like Hollow Glow and In My Mind. The rest of those songs I brought to him finished, and But yeah, I would like to write again with him. That'd be really cool.
Yeah,
that's really awesome. Israel's last question is, what are your future plans for more music?
Oh well, I'm just writing more songs already. Like, it's just something that I do like daily, like thinking up little weird words that sound cool together, and then like little funny vocal melodies will just like come to me because I'm like feeling a certain emotion or something, and it's just like something I kind of do to keep myself from going crazy. So I'm like constantly writing. So hopefully after I get everything finished with this, I'm gonna start officially recording demos for the next one.
That's awesome.
That's great.
You said so you've only been playing guitar for a short time, right?
Yeah, kind of. Like I had to learn for a movie to play this part of the lead singer guitar, so this kind of a punk rock band.
Mm-hmm.
And that was back in 2010. And in 2011 I started really getting into writing like my own silly little songs. But I didn't start officially taking like lessons until 2014. So
that's cool.
it's like on and off, I guess.
Yeah, was that your first instruments? I remember we talked about the harp before. So were you playing anything else before the guitar, or?
I played the flute in middle school, and I played the harp, and I studied a little bit of harp in college.
That's awesome. Did you I didn't hear a lot of harp. Did you play any flute or additional harp on the album, or is it just mostly guitar?
There's no harp on the album.
Oh, I thought there was harp in Hollow Glow. It sounded like there could have been.
There was in the music video, and then we took it out for the album.
Okay, that's what I heard then. That's cool. Okay.
And then there is flute on the album.
Is it your flute?
It's me, yeah.
That's awesome.
And it sounds like vaguely out of tune, because it probably is. But I don't know. It's like on that song "Rather Be Alone." I wrote that song. That was actually the first song I ever wrote.
Oh my gosh, I really like that song.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah,
oh my gosh.
I really like the melody in that song. I think that's a really great song. That's super cool.
Thank you. It was the first song I ever wrote, like beginning to end, and where I felt like, oh, it's finished. And then I was like, I told Ben that I could play the flute, and he was like, why don't you play the flute on this song? I was like, are you crazy? And, so we worked that out, and it was so fun.
That's amazing. We've had a little flute on our when Matt and I were playing. Matt's wife plays the flute.
Yeah.
So
oh wow.
We made her do that as well on one of the.
It was a flute solo, in fact.
Yeah, it was a flute solo.
Song.
It was amazing. So no shame there.
Yeah.
It's
Flutes
super
are
awesome.
rad.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Shalubo. Oh, this is a tough question, but the question
Yeah.
is, do you have a favorite song on the album?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
Um,
Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean it changes all the time because like I'll fall in love with the feeling behind a certain song, and I'll just be obsessed and want to play that song constantly because it
Mhm.
feels good to like live out that emotion. So my favorite song is on the album is Winter Coat.
Oh, awesome. It's very dreamy.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if you do
Yeah.
the same thing, you guys, and all of you actually. Like when I listen to an album, I tend to kind of like jump onto a handful of songs, and then as I listen to it more, I kind of get into other songs over time. You know,
Yes,
kind of like it
exactly.
I
changes.
love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'll love
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
4 songs and play those 4 songs like over and over, and then eventually it'll like leak on over to the rest.
Yes, and then you find like 4 other songs or something like that, and then you
Right,
kind of just like you kind of grow with the album, which is really exciting. Yeah, so I feel like
Yeah.
I'm doing that with your album, Hannah, as well. So that's really exciting.
Oh, awesome.
So this question is from Bean on Reddit, and Bean, I'll read the whole thing because it's actually very sweet, and I think you'll like it. Bean says, "Thanks for doing this. I've been listening to Hollow Glow nonstop from the day it came out, and it's so fantastically great and one of my favorites in 2016. I can hear some Chris Cornell in some of your songwriting. Is this just my vivid imagination linking two artists I adore together, or is he someone whose music you appreciate as a songwriter?" And for our listeners who don't know who Chris Cornell is, he is from Soundgarden.
Correct.
Oh wow, that's awesome. I would have never put those. I would have never thought of that comparison, but that makes me feel so cool. Oh my gosh. Wow. I
Not on
definitely-
purpose.
not on purpose, but I've listened to his music a lot growing up, and I think he's awesome. He's got such an incredible voice, and
Does.
that's really cool. That I like that because it makes me feel like there's some rock and roll in
I would
there.
actually, and I'm not saying this as a joke, I would love to hear you do like a cover of Black Hole Sun.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I would love to do it.
Wouldn't that be so cool?
Like in like a dreamy. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a really
Wow. I'm gonna
That-
do it.
That'll
do
totally
it.
work.
Yeah, do it, please. I would love to hear it. That'd be incredible. That was a good question. Thanks,
Yeah,
Bean, on Reddit.
Maybe in the broader sense of the question, we could ask you like where do you take your inspiration from for the songs, and are there, you know, whether they be musical influencers or something else, but where do you find the inspiration for playing and writing music?
I think sometimes it's definitely from I'll hear a song that really moves me, and then I'll just start thinking about it. I know that I think that I get a lot of inspiration for the way my lyrics are structured from like Sufjan Stevens and the Magnetic Fields and Belle and Sebastian, like really wordy, a lot of like alliterative sentences. So I'm really into lyrics, and I think that that's like the most important part of the songwriting process for me, and that's like just thinking of words is normally how my songs start, but also just going about life and the getting hurt, I guess. I think sometimes I think I almost like let myself get into situations where they're gonna like have a painful outcome, and I do it because it's almost like I know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it because I just want to like have some intense feeling.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's not healthy,
Oh,
but yeah. And then something comes out of there. Like I don't know. It's kind of an intangible process, but I just usually I get my heart broken. So it's
Oh,
You know,
geez.
it's really interesting that you say that, because I listened to your album a couple of times, and then when, you know, I was like ready to play something else because I was driving in the car or whatever, and the next thing I put on was like Elliott Smith, just because that felt like it was
wow.
a good place to go to afterwards. So I feel like I don't know, you know, precisely what the connection is, but something in listening to your album like made me choose that as the next artist to listen to. So I feel like when you're talking about just having like very intense life experiences and being very like sort of lyrically dense with your music, I feel like that's a possible connection there, and maybe why in my in my mind subconsciously I wanted to go to that place, which I think is really cool. So I'm glad.
Well, and I think what makes music, I think that's really beautiful in a sense, because what makes music like truly re-listenable is when it comes from something deeper than just like a momentary thought or feeling or something. Like when you're writing from experiences and like actually putting some sort of honesty into the music, that's to me like what makes a good song. That's what like differentiates between one person playing a song about something that they didn't truly experience or truly feel, and another person who is playing something that kind of comes from somewhere deeper. Usually tends to make an album that much more like re-listenable and kind of have a staying power, if that makes sense.
Oh wow, I can't believe that you just said that about Elliott Smith. he is oh gosh, I love him so much.
I know there's a lot of you can't bring his name up without having lots of feelings. So I'm sorry I did that, but it was something that I actually did. So it's.
Oh no! Don't be sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna remember that for the rest of my life.
Though the seasons slowly change, my love still remains. For what's not gone, how many nights I've died, hang my head and cry. Leave it all behind. You can't hide. I love you in my mind.
The next question comes from Real Muterol,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to know if you have any plans to tour now that the album has been released.
I don't. I want to. I don't.
I feel like
have
there's a lot of demand for this right now.
Really?
I mean, at least I've seen a couple of. I've seen this question come up a couple of times at least.
I want to. I just
where
don't
people
know
would
how.
lose their minds if you played at like a
PAX?
like a PAX, like a nerd convention or something, or like played during E3 or PAX at a club or something. It would pack out in like 5 seconds.
Whoa! I would love. I mean, I just don't know how to like go about. You know how? You know what I mean? It's. I don't know. I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
It's definitely my dream to go on to have like an actual band and go on tour. Like that's it. But it just seems like so far off. I wouldn't even know how to start. But hopefully one day.
Yeah. Awesome.
Are you planning to play out more around LA, or how's that going?
Yeah, well, like you guys know that the show I like had a rough experience with my first show with the live band, and I haven't really played since then. But I think I'm gonna start playing some like solo again,
Awesome.
and then
Great.
like, gradually maybe work in another player, like another guitarist, and try it again, because I do want to play in front of people again. I'm just I have really bad stage fright, and it's like something I thought that I had gotten over, but it's like a real problem, and it's also like a problem in acting too, like just like performance anxiety. So I think I just have to like work through some stuff. And
Yeah.
Have you?
That's
have
hard.
you? I don't know if we talked about this last. I know we talked about stage fright a little, because I think I'd said that I also get stage fright and have gotten it all through music, and would basically just get sick before the show and then just get up and play, and there's kind of no real way around it. But did we talk about a book? I recommended this one to Scott too. I think he read it. But did we talk about the Art of War? Or the War of Art, rather. Sorry.
The War of Art.
did mention that, and I was like, oh, I need to read that, because I've heard that before, but I never did. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. I couldn't remember if I
I'll give you a
even
pro
said
tip.
it.
It's on audiobook. If that makes it easier.
The
That's how I
audiobook's
was
really
able
great.
to.
That's why I
Yeah.
listened to it too.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I have a problem like physically reading anything that's not fiction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
audiobook
I'm
is
with
perfect
you.
for that
The
then,
audiobook is really great, but he talks about this stuff really in depth, and it's really kind of amazing. I can't recommend it enough because it kind of just tears it down to such like a very, I guess, toppable thing, or like thing that you could conquerable thing. Like at the end of the day, when he's
Whoa.
like, this is what it is, and you're like, oh, that is totally what it is, and this is how you get over it, which is really just like doing, like trusting your gut and kind of going with it.
Whoa.
So, but yeah, definitely, like, I recommend reading that. But yeah, I think we all, to an extent, and I especially, understand the notion of like letting stage fright and kind of fear of that, because it's not even necessarily the getting up and playing in that moment. It's like the hours leading up or the days leading up to the performance that you kind of work yourself into this kind of terrible place before you even
like a
get a chance
frenzy
to
or
play.
something.
Yeah.
I used to be
Yeah.
I used to be terrified to get in front of people, that I would shake, and then I became a teacher, and that quickly went away.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh, wow.
I didn't have much of an option. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
it's crazy. But I think everybody has it to a degree. It's hard. It's hard to get up there and expose yourself in any way, especially to strangers, you know.
Yeah, for me it's like the aftermath is really heavy. Like well the whole thing is awful. And then like sometimes it's like really it feels really amazing. Like being like if I can break through the fear, like it's like ecstasy or something, the feeling
Yeah.
Right.
of not being inhibited by that
Oh, yeah.
awful feeling. But then the aftermath is like the overanalyzation, like
Yeah.
did this happen here? What happened there?
Yeah.
And then I did this wrong, and it's like shame cycling. But you know what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing that's good about that is that you are usually the only person that hears your mistakes, like on stage. Like people in the audience tend not to notice the things that you notice with like laser vision, I guess, because we would go through the same thing, and if you watched us on stage, we would look at each other occasionally if something went wrong, but then you would ask somebody afterwards, like, oh, I can't believe that, and they'd be like, I didn't hear it, so
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think we came up with the rule of just like, no matter what happens, you just keep going.
playing.
Like you never
Yeah.
make it look like you made a mistake, because that's when people notice, is when you react to the mistake you made.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the worst, like my favorite story to tell, because it's like, to me it was the unexpected worst thing that ever happened to us as a band. Like we cleared rooms and had no one show up, and like there was plenty of times where we had what would everybody else would probably consider a terrible show. We had a flood break out in the middle of a show in DC.
Whoa.
Right? Do you remember that? Or we weren't playing, but the flood was like right after we finished in DC or something like that.
Yeah, it was in
venue
that small
flooded out.
venue with the
Yeah.
upstairs, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the worst show we ever had, the one that was like the most soul shattering, was we played a show to like a packed room in North Carolina, and no one reacted. Like they didn't
no.
talk during our set. They didn't clap. They didn't like boo. They did literally nothing. I've never played a show where people just stare at you blankly for like 40 minutes, and then you finish and they make no move to do anything, and then like you're just kind of like, okay, I don't know what to do with this information. And it was like, nothing has ever shaken me so much as that one show experience did, where I was like,
then just complete indifference.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
so that's the
intense.
worst. You can do it. I believe in you.
Yes.
Yes, we all do.
Thanks.
We all
Yeah,
do.
we'll have to. I don't know. Maybe we can help you play somewhere at some event or something. That
Oh,
would
that'd be fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I have ideas, but
Oh,
I think
Scott's
we-
got ideas. You want to
yeah.
shift gears? Do some
Yeah,
Life
well,
is Strange stuff?
I can look here. Here's what I'm going to do to help us shift
Okay.
gears. Of
Okay.
course, our Reddit folks had questions about Life is Strange, and maybe to get from music to talking about games a little bit. The question that I had was, since you do music and acting, is there something that you've taken from one that you've, a lesson learned in one area that you've used in another? So has like something in acting taught you something about playing music, or something about playing music helped you do something in acting, or one way or the other?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, they're very much intertwined. I think that I think that there was something in acting that I wasn't getting, which was like creative control. So having that, experiencing that feeling of being able to express myself without a director, or being hired or auditioning was really freeing for me, and I finally got to get emotions out that I was never able to get out on my own terms before, and it was like very, very, very healing. And then I took that kind of freedom that I experienced back with me into acting. I had like hit a point in acting where I kind of hated it, and so I felt like getting to play music breathed new life into me. And so when I went back to acting, I wasn't just another desperate. It wasn't just like another desperate audition or another like. Oh God, is this the last thing I'm ever going to get? Because I felt like I had something that they couldn't take away from me from music.
Yeah.
So it was really beneficial. And then I think, being an overly expressive, dramatic, intensely emotional person is helpful for me in music because it's like where I write from and where I perform from. So it's they're very closely knit together for me.
That's amazing. It's like this deeply personal experience. It's like you on an album, and then you share it with the entire world, and you're like, here I am.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous.
Really...
I mean, that seems like the ultimate outlet. Like, I honestly don't have anything that lets me get out that sort of feeling and that sort of emotion. So congratulations. That's like you have this thing that you've made that's helped you, and it's also something that exists in the world now. So congratulations.
Wow, thanks. I didn't really think of it like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
I think we should just start a new band right here for Ash to be a part of this.
I've been trying to be in bands for 20 years and no one will ever take me.
That's how I feel.
I know. I'm like, I'll do anything, guys. They're like, just get out of here.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to solve some problems after this.
Well,
episode,
all I want to do is I just kind of want to dance around and scream, so that no one really wants to hire a guy to do that.
Maybe you
no,
can
you'd
be like
a hype man.
Yeah,
I could be a hype man, like Flava Flav.
Or that you remember that guy in Mighty Boss Tones, right?
Tones,
yeah, the Boss Tones guy, sure.
That just danced around. You could do that.
All right, I'll work on my dancing.
Okay, so that was
You could be the keyboard player and jam out, going crazy behind there. That'd be awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry, that job is already taken.
Yeah, Scott's a keyboard player.
Oh, sorry.
No,
He's
Scott
a
plays
really
the
good keyboard
the
dancer.
dying ghost.
Oh yeah, I tried to play theremin at our reunion show, and it went okay. It was like mixed reviews.
Mixed reviews from whom? Most people fell on the ground and started shivering because it sounded like a ghost coming after them.
Oh, it's perfect. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about video games. Let's talk about video games.
Yeah. That was supposed to transition us to Life is Strange.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So obviously the Reddit community has a ton of questions about Life is Strange, and some of them are great. Some of them are very broad. And so here, the first one is from the Mouse Hunter, which is a great name. And it's sort of a general question, but it's a good one. It says, how are Max and you similar and different?
Oh, wow. I feel like the only difference between us is that we don't really look that much alike. Although I did kind of look like her when I was younger. I had shorter dark hair when I was 12 or 13. But the main difference is that I don't have any superpowers. I can't reverse time. And literally everything else besides that, I totally relate to. It's almost it's really, really uncanny. Everything down to for loving photography, being introverted and shy, and having to come to terms with the fact that I have to speak my mind, or else just stand back and let things happen and be a passive bystander. Having to come to terms with the fact that you have a choice to either step in or do nothing, and also especially with her relationship with Chloe, where I feel like a lot of the time Max is really, really trying to trying to please Chloe, convince Chloe that she is cool. I'm cool. I can do this. No, I know I'm not. I know I'm a little bit cautious, but I'm cool. I'm still cool. And so I've had so many relationships and friendships in my life where I feel like I'm just striving so hard to prove myself and live up to this idealized expectation that I think the other person has, and
Right.
I relate to her to 100%.
Wow.
Just not the
That's
time
a-
traveling.
I have to say, when we first met at Comic-Con, which feels like a million years ago at this point, but we first met at Comic-Con, it was very strange because I played Life is Strange through a bunch, and just seeing you and talking with you, I felt like, well, we had you on the show already, so I felt like I already knew you, but then I felt like I really knew you, and it was just so weird and so natural. And honestly, it felt like I was kind of in a lot of ways talking to Max, just because you do carry yourselves the same. Like it was very kind of uncanny. So
Yeah, it was a really wild experience. It's still a really wild experience. Yeah.
stuff. Let's see, what's the next one? Thread of Fate asks, how has your life changed since playing Max? Has it opened any doors for you, or are you getting recognized?
It completely changed. I mean, my life is entirely different now than it was before. Mainly just like because of my mindset. I've been out in LA a long time, and I've just like kind of been picking myself up, failure after failure after failure. Like, it's every time I would think that something was going to happen, like I'd get a breakthrough, it would just drop, and nothing would come of it, or it would go to someone else, or so I was like really down on myself, and also like kind of ready to give up, but not able to give up because it's like an addiction, living out
Right.
here and like playing the gambling, with your career, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
weird. It's
Yeah.
like you got to pay to play. So after I experienced I was given like a real job, like the lead in a real game, a real job that lasted a long time. It was like it was all I'd ever hoped for,
Right,
in
right.
my dreams of acting. So it really made me feel peace and relief, like I hadn't wasted all this time trying to like chase a pipe dream. So it was really beneficial to me mentally, and then also it just like beyond that, everybody that is involved in this community blows my mind constantly. They are so supportive and so kind, and they're so passionate about the game and about like helping each other and creating this amazing tightly knit community of people. And they're so welcoming and so generous. I never thought in a million years that I would be involved in anything like any of this. It's like beyond anything I could ever imagine. So my whole it's totally different.
That's great. No,
in
that's
every
awesome.
way.
It's kind of it's wild because we've been following games for a very long time, and I think it is very awesome and also unusual to see a game sort of reach its completion, or maybe like hit its peak, and then but still continue to gain as much attention as this game does, because a lot of games will go through sort of like a marketing hype, and then people will be high on it for a while, and then they kind of move on to the next thing, and then you play something else or whatever. But this game sort of has persisted over time, which is very unique, I think. And I think that you sort of being almost like an ambassador to this game for a lot of people is, I think, really awesome and very important. So it's even evidenced by the fact that you're going out to play this game on a stream, even though everybody else is already, if you were going to play this game at this point, you've probably already played it, but there's still a demand to see you do this. And I think that that's really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. What was our next question? Oh, Lesser of Two Weevil asks, and this is probably related to the earlier question. In your mind, do you think Max and Chloe see each other just as friends or as something more?
I think that I think both. This might sound a little weird. This might sound really weird, but I mean, if you think about like your deepest friendships, when you're that close to someone and you're that connected to someone, it's almost like you always think about it. Sorry. You always think it's not like you're ever gonna act on it, or it's not even that it's a real plausible thing, but it enters your mind the thought of, whoa, am I in love with this person, or are we just do I love this person, or am I in love with this person? It's a very blurry thing, and I definitely think there's a lot of that going on in their friendship, and I think that I think they're a little bit more than friends.
Yeah, people are really gonna love that answer.
Yeah.
but at the same time, I don't know if they would be right together, or like good for each other together in that kind of relationship.
I mean, let's face it, Chloe's a bit of a mess, right? I mean, my opinion, and Chloe would be like, from a male perspective, if Chloe was my girlfriend, I'd be like, oh man, like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like it would be rough.
Yeah,
but
on
she's
the one
incredible, but it would be a rough relationship.
Maybe she would settle down, but
Yeah.
but maybe not.
Yeah.
So
No, that's very true. Very true. That was a good question. Thank you. Who was that from? Lesser of Two Weevil. Good name. Very good name.
Absolutely.
So we have some general questions, and these are also from Reddit. And the first one is from Leisure Force. It says, hi, Hannah. Has all the positive feedback from your performance on Life is Strange helped you manage your anxiety and instill general confidence in your future projects?
Wow, what a cool question. Yes. Yes, so much, like to the point where it's almost like it has the potential to almost be like a negative thing, because I'll rely on it to like build, like I'll hit a really low point, and then I'll be like, no, but don't forget, like they said it was good, and it's okay, and you did a good job now, but but I need to be able to not have to rely on outside things to feel like I can do something, but because I think that can turn into something a little bit addictive, kind of like it can turn into a fear of like, well, what's going to happen when it's not good enough, or like what's going to happen when somebody says something mean and I completely lose my mind, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It makes me, it entrances me. It makes me feel like I could maybe do this, and then at the same time I'm like, oh god, I don't want to let anybody down, or I don't know. It's hard, weird, but I'm really thankful.
It's really hard to put yourself out there, and like unfortunately there is good and bad, but I think hopefully there's, in your case at least, it seems like there's much more good than bad, so that's really awesome. We had a couple of other questions, sort of like in this part of it, but from the Reddit community, but they all kind of lean towards the same thing, which is like people just want to know, what are you doing next? Like, are you gonna the Reddit community wants to know, are you gonna do more music? Are you gonna do more TV and movie, like live acting, or more in the video game world, or there was another question in there that I lost, but I think people just want to know, like, what are you doing next? Do you have any projects that you can't talk about yet, or anything like that?
No,
the Reddit community wants to know.
Honestly, I haven't booked a job. Like I've been auditioning for a lot of voice acting roles, and I haven't booked one or anything yet. I really hope I do. It's honestly, whatever happens next is based on whatever job I actually get.
Right. But
so
there's more. You said there was more. You're working on more music as well, which I think is will really get the listeners excited. I think people are
definitely
really stoked to hear more of your music. So that's awesome.
Well, that's a good thing. It's also a good thing because the less acting I do, the more time I get to play music.
Right,
so it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So it's good.
That's awesome. Well, Hannah, thank you so much. Where can people find you on the social media?
Well, it's just my name, Hannah Telle, and that's my username for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And then if you want to hear the album, you can just look up my name on Bandcamp.
Awesome.
and I'll let you
But-
listen to it.
You're also on. It's on like iTunes.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah. iTunes and
Spotify.
Spotify.
I saw it on the. It's on Groove Music, which is Microsoft's service now too. So looks like it's getting pretty good distribution everywhere. If you have pretty much whatever you have, you should be able to get to it and listen to it. So we recommend that you do.
Thank you. I hope you guys do. I hope you guys like it.
No, it's
was-
really good. I'm not just saying that either. Like I was so
Yeah.
happy that it was good because every once in a while we'll have guests on and they'll like come out with a new thing, and I'll like either play the new thing or watch the new thing. And I'll be like, "Ooh, gosh, this is going to be really hard for me to like fake my way like through this for an episode." But I genuinely think your album is awesome, and I think you are awesome. And I thank you for coming on your third time. Thank you for hanging out with us. It's always so much
Oh.
fun.
Thank you so much for having me. That you guys are so awesome and nice. Anytime you want to chat, I'm so down.
All right. We're
Absolutely.
gonna hold you to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna-
Yeah,
Okay,
for
cool.
sure.
Next
So-
week, Hannah Telle returns.
So-
Jeez.
Well, I'm not doing anything else. So I'm just like writing songs and trying to package all these. I said I'm gonna. Anyway, I made a mistake and like spent all the money that I was supposed to use to like hire a graphic designer and do all this stuff. So I ended up having to do it all. I spent it all trying to win this guy's affection. Long story. So now I'm having to design everything myself, and I'm still like trying to fix stuff. So yeah,
I'm
anytime you
curious
want to
about
chat.
this story. I'm not going to ask you the story
But-
on the air, but I need to know, like, was this man for purchase? Or was
Oh boy.
No,
I
he was
need
just he was just someone I'm in love with, and everybody.
that's rough.
So, but I got some really good songs out of it.
There you
But there
go.
wasn't for this album, like you didn't do like a crowdfund, right? A Kickstarter or anything. You just made the album, right?
I did, and then I just self-released it, which was like through Bandcamp. They've been such a great site there because they're not confusing. That's like the only thing I was able to figure out how to do. So yeah.
Yeah, Bandcamp is great.
So this is the point that I wanted to make for our listeners or people that came to this interview because you like Hannah Telle. And the mantra that we're going to repeat here is support local music because this album was not kickstarted. And so if you're listening to it, you should go and buy it
Yeah.
to support Hannah so that she can make more music.
And we should
Oh.
say the name of the album again. We've only said it like once.
Oh,
I
I'm
think.
sorry. Yeah, we keep talking about it like sort of roundabout, but it's called Hollow Glow. It's on Bandcamp and everywhere else where fine digital albums are sold.
Yeah.
And
But go buy it on Bandcamp because I know for a fact that's probably where you're getting the most money back on it.
That's a good
So,
point. Yes.
Well, thank you again, Hannah.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. It was
And-
so awesome.
Good. Well, hopefully you come back again, and the door is always open. And here's the part where I plug us, guys.
Okay.
We are the Rated NA podcast. We've been around for 6 years as of 3 days from now. So this is episode 247, and you guys can follow us on Twitter, and that's at Nerd Appropriate on Twitter. We have a Twitch TV, Facebook, everything. Just
YouTube.
look up
YouTube, I think, is
YouTube,
like-
yeah, YouTube. A couple other things, Instagram. Just look for Nerd Appropriate on those things, and we are there. And we
Fun
do
fact,
stuff on.
you know what our most watched episode is on YouTube? Because we're syndicating on YouTube now. Our most watched episode is the interview with Hannah Telle.
It is. I think it is.
What?
Yeah, yeah. Our most watched YouTube video is.
I
our
looked it up
first interview
today.
with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I looked it up
Oh
today.
my gosh, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
It is crazy. It is super
Yep.
cool. But thank you all so much for listening to the show, and come back next week for all new stuff. We have episode 250 coming up very, very soon with some big surprises and all sorts of shenanigans. They're such big surprises. I don't even know what they are yet,
They're a surprise to all of us.
It's coming up fast.
but we'll figure it out within the next 2 weeks that we have to figure it out. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you later.
Don't want to lose it. I finally feel alive. To keep the fuse lit, you sometimes have to cry. Afraid to come down, I'm flying up so high.
We don't
This is
actually
the part
take.
where we don't really take a break. We just
Oh, it's
put
a
some
fake
cool
break.
cool music in there. It's a fake break in case anyone has to.
Unless you need the break.
Fake break. No.
It's
I'm
definitely
good.